this morning. The leading story there says, "We will challenge ADC takeover in court. Kachiku vows." If you remember that Kachiku is the presidential candidate of the ADC, or say former presidential candidate of the ADC, and he has been reacting since the coalition movement adopted ADC as its vehicle. Other headlines from the Nation newspaper this morning: Tinubu NFF orders lead tribute for Peter Rufai. Defense headquarters will lack mandate to offer terrorist amnesty. First Lady eats plateau attack victims with 1 billion naira. The report of Buhari's critical illness exaggerated, said aide. Senate considers proposal for creation of 31 states, 18 councils, and state police. ADC, old wine in old cup. Our position on articulated coalition takeover of ADC by APC, PDP, others. What does this mean? We get to find out in a moment. Now let's go to the Punch newspaper and see how these stories are reported there. It says, taking the leading story now, 2027 showdown. Coalition slams Tinubu as Wike ADC trade blows. Then federal government sets July date for petrol pricing summit. Beyond the gloves, 10 fact about ex-Eagles goalkeeper Peter Rufai, whom many have been paying tribute to his unfortunate death yesterday. Stray bullets kills 12-year-old boy during attack in Lagos community. Lagos to enforce mandatory health insurance for residents. Woman bags 5-year jail for human trafficking in Anambra State. Other stories from the Punch newspaper this morning says, Nel Fund not for private universities, says provost, and parents best therapist for hearing impaired kids, says expert. MFM offers free medical care eyeglasses to residents of the FCT. Insecurity, reps push for military base in Adamawa hotspot. All of these are reported in the Punch newspaper this morning. Other stories: they beheaded my son before my eyes, licked his blood. Mother narrates. That's quite tragic. Commissioner of Police order probes prompt medical care for sick suspect in Abia command. Senate begins constitution review hearing in Lagos today.
Hello, good people of Ekiti State and its environment. For your private, political, family, or club meetings, and so on, of not more than 50 to 100 participants, we introduce to you Adamimogo Event Hall. Yes! Right at Oladoyin Palace, Adamimogo 107.7 FM's compound, Ido Ekiti. Ample parking space, good security, clean environment. You also have the opportunity to book for a media publicity of your event on our fast-growing social media platforms. All these for a talking. Simply visit us at Oladoyin Palace, Ido Ekiti, or call the following numbers for more inquiries: 0803 526 5812 or 0916 340 0878 or 0806 511 4430. You can also call 0806 380 8891 at Adamimogo Event Hall. We are waiting for your patronage.
Come back. If you just joined us, the Daily Dose on Adamimogo 107.7 FM is what you are listening to at this time, where we're bringing you stories as reported in the national dailies for today, being the fourth day rather, in the 7th month of the year 2025. Now let's go into the details of those headlines we took earlier. A couple of reactions and counter reactions have been trailing activities of the ADC, which is one of the results of the coalition movement. And I begin from the Nation newspaper this morning with the leading story which says, "We will challenge ADC takeover in court, Kachiku vows." It says the takeover of the African Democratic Congress ADC leadership by the coalition of defectors is designed to give former Vice President Atiku Abubakar a platform to contest the 2027 presidential election. ADC presidential candidate in the 2023 election, Dumebi Kachiku, said this yesterday in a second reaction in 24 hours to Wednesday's unveiling of Senator David Mark as interim national chair of the party. He hinted that the coalition defectors' actions will be challenged in court. On Wednesday, ADC National Chairman Raf Nwosu announced that he had resigned to pave the way for Mark. Two other former Interior Minister Rauf Aregbesola and former Sports Minister Bolaji Abdullahi were also announced as the National Secretary and Publicity Secretary of the party. Kachiku, in a news conference along 7 state chairmen from Benue, Niger, Nasarawa, Akwa Ibom, and Jigawa State, as well as the Etswa national spokesperson, said, and I quote, "Let them declare publicly that the next flag bearer will come from the south. They will do it. They will do it, and I will welcome them through the front door." End of quote. He further said some other things. It's quite a long read, but see details of that in the Nation newspaper this morning. We will challenge ADC takeover in court. Kachiku newspaper this morning. 2027 South must produce Nigeria's next president, Amechi says. Now, it says that a former Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, has insisted that the next president of Nigeria must come from the South. Speaking yesterday in a televised interview, Amechi, however, argued that the leadership should be determined by competence and character, not regional entitlement. According to him, the next election will be a battle between ordinary Nigerians and the entrenched political elite. He said, and I quote, "Nigeria belongs to all of us. We cannot sustain a democracy where one region dominates while others are locked out. The South has capable leaders. It is time to restore balance and deliver real results. This election is not about the party loyalty. It is Nigerians versus the political elite. If we want change, real change, then it is time to rise. The South is ready to lead. We are building a platform that gives every Nigerian a voice and hope." Those were the words of Amechi yesterday during that interview. Again, the headline says 2027 South must produce Nigeria's next president, says Amechi. The Daily Post newspaper, 2027 ADC youth reject David Mark, Atiku, Amechi, El-Rufai opposition coalition to unseat Tinubu. It says that the youth wing of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, has rejected the opposition party coalition led by former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former Senate President David Mark, former Governor of Rivers State Rotimi Amechi, former Governor of Kaduna State Nasir El-Rufai, and former Minister of Interior Rauf Aregbesola and others. Musa Matara, the spokesman for the ADC, disclosed this on Thursday at a gathering of the party's youth wing. This comes as Wednesday Atiku, Amechi, David Mark, and others adopted ADC as the opposition coalition to unseat President Bola Tinubu in 2027. It's all detailed in the Daily Post newspaper this morning. Again, the headline says 2027 ADC youth rejects Atiku, David Mark, Amechi, El-Rufai opposition coalition to unseat Tinubu. Still on the coalition, 2027, it's rather too late, you cost it. ADC replies Wiki over attack on coalition. It says that the African Democratic Congress ADC has responded to the outburst of Minister of the Federal Capital Territory FCT Minister Nyesom Wike against its leaders during a media chat in Abuja on Wednesday. The FCT minister took on the leaders of the newly formed coalition, such as Amechi, David Mark, Aminu Tambua, Aji, Sirika, among others. According to Wiki, those set of people had been in government for a long period of time but could not do anything to help the ordinary people, but were not saying they want to serve the country. Wike believed that the government of President Bola Tinubu and the APC, which he currently serves, are doing enough despite challenges to lift Nigerians out of the current economic realities. He said that the most of the people in the coalition lacked the moral right to form an alliance against a working government when they had the opportunity to do more. But in a statement signed by Malam Bolaji Abdullahi, the spokesman of the coalition movement, the ADC lambasted the FCT minister, who, according to them, had refused to pay teachers' salaries but was commissioning Elephant Project. The ADC said that Wike's behavior is incompatible with the office of the minister, adding that the minister is now afraid because a coalition to take over government he serves as a largest investment in youth talent. It says the Lagos State Commissioner for Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Bolaji Dada, has called on non-government organizations and the private sector to invest in youth and women-driven innovation, describing creativity as a key driver of economic empowerment and global progress. She made the call during the 2025 World Creativity and Innovation Day celebration held at the WAPA Skill Acquisition Center in Isheri, Lagos, under the theme Harnessing Creativity for Global Progress, addressing guests, students, and media representatives at the event. That I said, in today's rapidly evolving world, creativity is not just a luxury, it is a necessity. See further details of some of the calls she made there in the Punch newspaper this morning. The headline says, Government urges investment in youth talent. And to security matters now, this one says, Reps push for military base in Adamawa hotspot. It says the House of Representatives has called for the immediate establishment of a permanent military base in the Madagali Michika axis of Adamawa State, following renewed attacks by armed assailants that left several residents dead and many others abducted. These followed a resolution passed during Thursday's plenary, where lawmakers decried the persistent security breaches in the area and mandated a thorough investigation into the violence. The House also resolved to investigate the persistent security breaches in the northeast, particularly in Madagali Michika axis of Adamawa State. In court, to stem the tide of violence, the House urged the Chief of Defense Staff, CDS, the Inspector General of Police, IGP, and the Director General of the Department of State Services, DSS, to urgently deploy a combined military and police task force to Magdagali and establish a permanent forward operating base to deter further attack and restore peace in the area. End of quote. Those were the resolutions of the House of Representatives yesterday. Again, the headline says, Insecurity reps push for military base in Adamawa hotspot. Now let's open the studio lines for those who might want to react to some of the stories. 07047007701 or 070727666278. Those are the lines to call to be part of the show this morning. Hello.
Good morning, my presenter.
Good morning, comrade.
My name is Comrade Adamimogo, expatriate from Oswetiti.
Go ahead.
Good morning to Adamimogo Center there. Let me appreciate Wike. For him, knew that the government formed in River State is a de facto. He knew that the government was a de facto and not the job. But one thing I want to appeal to Wike and the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is that the budget presented and written and presented to the House of Assembly River State by the de facto government should be deficient, should be rejected. If truly Fubara is coming back to power, to the Democrats, that it was given a legitimate election, the former budget presented by Fubara should be able to stand. I appeal to the federal government, I appeal to Wike, because I believe Fubara is coming back to office. But the budget presented by the de facto government, the administrator, should not be entertained. Then, everybody is struggling for 2027. Nobody is providing solutions to the problem of Nigeria. Everybody wants to be in power. The coalition party formed is a marriage of inconvenience. It's a marriage of inconvenience because they cannot stand. I'm appealing to Atiku to look back to his antecedent. I am appealing to Amechi to look back to his antecedent in state. Atiku privatized everything in Nigeria, and he wants to be the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I am appealing to them. The coalition party should please support Tinubu. Tinubu is working.
All right.
Before the 2 years coming, Tinubu will turn stones to bread in Nigeria. Good morning, my presenter. My name is Comrade Bedouin from Osweki.
Thank you so much, comrade. Let's see if we can get one other reaction before we call it a wrap on this morning's show or this morning's edition of the Daily Dose. 07047007701 or 07072766278. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Pastor Van from Ayegbusi.
All right, Pastor, please go ahead.
I just would like, I always say, coalition or maybe merger or any form that they call it is good. Why did I say it's good is that it will be able to have a strong opposition. But my question is always, what is the ambition behind the coalition? Is it only to remove Tinubu or to be able to give us a soft landing that will make the country go in a better way than the way Tinubu is doing? At least these are the things they should put in mind. And the other thing, maybe VK is also saying it all this. Yesterday, or this voice, I read one of the news, the teachers issue that I said we should please, that the money that comes to him is 8 billion, and teachers' salary is 13 billion. That there are students that we should be able to pay. That is on down. At least we should look for other means, and we pacify the teachers and make sure that the children go back to school.
All right.
Now, that is my own. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution there. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Comrade.
Good morning.
Almighty God must be with you, the presenter.
Amen.
Everybody, you're in Nigeria. You need to cultivate the habit to join the politics. So you cannot disintegrate anybody. I thank my people over there, Adamimogo, our brother Galaxy, Adamimogo Galaxy in Ukweju.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution so far. And that's where we wrap it up on this morning's show on Adamimogo, on the Daily Dose on Adamimogo 107.7 FM. Idoye Kita. Another beautiful edition will return on Monday. My name is Oladoyin Ayegbusi.